Hello friends and welcome to new lesson of Spanish Language Learning Center. Today we'll be talking about IR ending verbs. So in the past two chapters we talked about AR verbs and ER verbs. We saw their endings, we saw the conjugations and we tried forming them in a simpler sentences. And today it's IR verbs. So yes, we had few set of endings each for AR and ER verbs. And ER verbs endings were O, is, A, emos, is, in, right? So you must have started thinking or tried to guess what are the endings for IR verbs. So in IR verb, if we know that there would be 6 forms, each for yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, and ustedes form. So basically you'll have certain endings. But yes, those endings will follow a certain pattern. So if we place this L over here in this chart, so this is the pattern or the rule breaking path in IR verbs. Let's go about it. So first one, as we guessed, it was right. It's O. So for AR verb, yo form ends with O. ER O ends with O. And IR, it also follows the same pattern. Here comes the twist. To form. It's is. It's not is. It's is. So that's same as the ER verb. El, ella, usted form. It's A. Again same as the ER form. Coming on to nosotros. But first it's ustedes form, which is again a rule breaker. It's en. Same as the ER verb. So that is the meaning of L over here. So the L blocks or the L placeholders, they follow the same endings as ER verbs. Alright, nosotros form, it's emos. For AR verb it was amos, ER verbs it was emos, and for nosotros it's emos. And vosotros form is. So yes, these are the 6 forms or 6 endings of IR ending verbs. O is A, emos is in, and this verb basically follows the L pattern, where L is the forms or persons where endings would be same as the ER verb. Alright, let's try seeing their conjugation in a verb. So yes, a very commonly used IR verb. Viver, which means to live, and from viver, I'll tell you, comes the word vida, which means life. So yes, we have these endings over here. Let's start forming their conjugation. So rule remains the same. We'll remove this IR ending and we'll add these endings to the verb to form each of the respective forms. So your form becomes vivo, I live, vivo. You live, vives, he lives, she lives, you live, vive, we live, vivimos, you all live, vives. So there's an accent over here, so that means we need to give a little stress. Vives. Viven. Alright, so here's just a quick revision of what we were having. Basically we were talking about yo, tú, él, ella, usted. So that yo is basically I, tú is you, él is he, ella is she, and usted is you in a formal way. Similarly, nosotros is we, vosotros is you all, ellos is they, means group of men, ellas is again they, group of women, ustedes, you all. And if we are talking about a mixed group, both men and women, it will be ellos. Say, I live in France. So live, we know the verb is vivir, and we know the conjugations. So we are talking about I. So yo, and yo form of vivir vivo. In we already saw en. So yo vivo en Francia. Yo vivo en Francia. Another example. He lives in Manhattan. So we are talking about someone, and it could be anyone, he, she, and you want to tell that person that lives in Manhattan. So he is, él lives, which means we are talking about third person conjugation of vivir. So it's vive, vive. En is en, él vive en Manhattan. Él vive en Manhattan. Another example. We live in digital world. The reality of today's life. So we are talking about we live, nosotros form. So vivimos, vivimos. World is mundo, mundo. And digital we can say, except the pronunciation, it is digital, digital. So nosotros vivimos en el mundo digital. Nosotros vivimos en el mundo digital. So this is again an interesting note over here. So we have the world as the noun and digital is basically the behavior. So we always place the behavior after the noun or the object in Spanish. Digital is the way to describe the today's world. So that's why it will be placed after the object. Alright, last one. They live in a mansion. So we are talking about Ellos and Ellas. So Ellos viven en una mansión. So mansión is the term for mansion. Note this, a little accent over here, so a little bit of stress. Mansión. Ellos viven en una mansión. Okay, that was on the last one. We have another one. You want to ask, do you live here? You are asking a question to someone. So this you could be tú, it could be usted form, depending upon the person you are talking to. So if we are talking about tú vives aquí. Aquí is here. And we put a question mark towards the end of the sentence and at the beginning of the sentence. And at the beginning it is an inverted question mark. Tú vives aquí. So when you are asking a question, then you really don't need to specify any separate word for do. Just putting a question mark, reverse question mark at the beginning of the sentence is good enough. Okay, so again I'm going to give you around 10 to 12 IR ending verbs. We have seen the conjugation, we have seen the rule breaking pattern. So first one is abrir, abrir, which means to open. Describir, describir, to describe. Escribir, escribir, to write. In ER form we read leer, leer, it meant to read. Here we know to write is escribir, escribir. Recibir, to receive, recibir, to receive. Decidir, to decide or to choose, decidir. Discutir, to argue or to discuss, discutir. Compartir, to share, compartir. So next time when you just go to a website and probably read the Spanish form of it, WhatsApp, Facebook, all those icons, when you hover on them, you'll have them saying compartir, which means share. Insistir, insistir, to insist. Asistir, asistir, to assist. Alright, so these are the verbs that we have to practice. Yes, there are many more, but these are the ones we'll start with. Abrir, descubrir, escribir, recibir, decidir, discutir, compartir, insistir, and asistir. Alright, we learned about IR verbs. So what is this thing doing over here? Okay, so this is not the IR ending verb, but it is a separate verb altogether in itself in Spanish. This is ir, which means to go. So yes, we had vivir, we had descubrir, we had recibir, but they were actually the verbs which ended with IR. And this is altogether a separate word in Spanish, which means to go. And trust me, it's widely used. So again, there are 6 forms of it, both for singular and plural, for each of the first, second and third person. And yes, we are talking about present tense. This is something that has to be remembered all the time. All the conjugations or the endings that we have discussed so far, each for AR, ER and IR verbs, we have discussed them for present tense. So yes, for ir, there are again 6 set of conjugations, but these are complete words. So I want to say I go, it's voy, voy. You go, vas, vas. He goes, she goes, you go, va, va. We go, vamos, vamos. Now this word, this even means let's go. So a lot of time if you are reading any Spanish letter or conversation and there are people talking to each other and they want to say let's go to this place or let's go, they say vamos, vamos. Next time you see Rafa Nadal playing and you'll hear the crowd cheering vamos, vamos, let's go, let's do it, vamos. Then you all go, vais, vais. They all go or you all go, van, van. So 6 forms of ir, the verb voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. And again, it's totally for the present tense. So let's try using them in some sentences. I want to say I go. So it can be yo voy, or else if you meet a local or a native Spanish speaker, they'll simply say voy, voy. Alright, yo voy is perfectly fine, there's no harm in it. But then they'll say voy, which means I go. He go. Va, él va. So here, because we are talking about the person, it could be he, she or you. So that's why we have used the endings él va to indicate he go. Él va. We go or let's go. Yes, we discussed that. Vamos. So it can be nosotros vamos to indicate we, and then we go, but 95% of the times you just read or hear vamos, vamos. So if you are trying to buck up your team, try to cheer them up, you'll also say or hear vamos. They go, van. So if you want to say they go, which means you are trying to tell the group of women are going, ellas van. Group of men are going, ellos van. For a mixed group, again ellos van. You all go, We are talking about vosotros form. So, vosotros vais. Vosotros vais. You go. Tu vas. Or a lot of times it would be vas, because we are talking to one person. Vas. Did they go? So now you are asking a question. Ellos or ellas van, depending upon they is referring to group of men and or group of women, or of mixed. Ellos van, ellas van, and this is something extremely important to remember. Why? This inverted question mark. Alright, so we will again have some new words to learn in over here, and then we'll go for a few more sentences. So first one over here to the left, tu. So in English we have this preposition tu, and in Spanish we have a for it, a. For office we have oficina, oficina, and this la, it indicates the, la oficina, which means the office. School, escuela, escuela, this la is the school, la escuela. And supermarket is supermercado, supermercado. This is a masculine noun, hence the is represented by el, the supermarket, el supermercado. Don't worry, we will have a lesson on just describing various forms of the in Spanish. So let's begin with some sentences. You want to say, I'm going to the supermarket. So present form, voy, and we know for tu is a. So voy a el supermercado. Voy a el supermercado. So that's one way of saying it. But then we have another pattern over here. So when we want to say to the, so there are two ways of saying that. A plus el, depending upon the noun is feminine or masculine, the form of the will change. So a plus el is al, and if you want to say a plus la, it's again al, which means the same thing, to the. So instead of actually saying voy a el, we just use one word, al, al, or voy plus la, al. So our sentence becomes, I'm going to the supermarket, yo voy al supermercado, or voy al supermercado. Alright, next one, he is going to office. El voy, not voy, voy vas va. El va al oficina. So basically you want to say he is going to the office. We have missed the over here in the English side. So the office, la oficina, and we know the rule over here. A plus la is al. El va al oficina. El va al oficina. He's going to office. He's going to the office. Another one. She is going to gymnasium. Again, it should be actually the. She is going to the gymnasium. So, ella va al gimnasio. Ella va al gimnasio. So, gimnasio is basically the term for gymnasium. Gimnasio. Next one. Are you going to the school? So you are asking a question. Va al escuela. Va al escuela. So va, because we are trying to ask in the formal way. If we would have asked to a kid known to us, we could have said vas al escuela. Vas al escuela. I'm going to dance. Okay, so here we'll be learning something new. Here I'm saying I'm going to dance. So dance, we know it is bailar. We saw the verb in AR verb lesson, bailar. And going, we know it's I am going, voy. And we have this to. So how do we frame a sentence which has two verbs actually? Till now whatever we have seen, it's a verb and a combination of noun. We haven't used two verbs together. So how do we do that? Voy a bailar, which means I am going, voy. To is a, and then we just use the verb, bailar, actual verb. We don't use any of the conjugations. So, voy a bailar, I'm going to dance. Alright. Are you going to cook? So again, you going or you go. You know it's vas or va. And cook is another verb which means cocinar, to cook. Cocinar. So two verbs in a single sentence, and that's a question. So vas a cocinar or va a cocinar, depending upon you want to ask in an informal or a formal manner. Alright, so that's it we have for the IR verb, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep on practicing all these verbs, these conjugations, and try to make simple sentences, and you'll just find Spanish so easy and fun to learn. Alright, okay, have a good day, bye.